Hello, my name is Molly Lynch. I'm so excited to be working with Curve on their Curve classrooms. I'm a singer, actress, and I also teach singing. So today I'm going to be doing a little singing lesson with you. I've been lucky enough to work with Curve in the past in their production of Sunset Boulevard in 2017 when we did it at Curve and then did the tour, and then also when we got to do a filmed production of it in December 2020. And I'm so looking forward to doing this little singing lesson with you. Hopefully it's going to suit you if you're a beginner or if you've already started doing some singing. We're going to work on the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow, just because I thought it's a nice song that hopefully everyone's semi-familiar with, but I'll take you through it. And it's a really like simple, beautiful song, but it's got some challenging moments in it, and it will give us an opportunity to talk about different techniques. But we're going to start with a little warm-up and an introduction to some basic breathing techniques and stuff. So let's get going. So the first thing to do is just check in with your body and your posture and how you're feeling. Sometimes we might feel a bit the tightness in our back once we take stock of how our bodies are, especially at the moment. I know I'm holding a lot of tension in my shoulders, so just take a while to like shake all that out, shake out your arms, shake out your legs, and give those shoulders a nice roll. You roll them down your back, because for me anyway, I have to make sure to check in that they are relaxed and downwards. Another really important thing is to set yourself up. So it's best to, we can always sing in really terrible, uncomfortable positions, but to just make sure our breathing and technique are doing what they're supposed to, try and sit nice and straight with the shoulders back and 2 feet firmly on the ground, nicely spaced out, so not clumped together or crossed. And keep that back nice and straight and upright so that you have really good flow of air able to come through. Another thing I like to do before I start doing my breathing exercises is just give the face a little massage, because our face is where we do so much of the work when we're singing, and it's also the part of our bodies that reverberates the sound. So if you think of the body of a guitar or the body of a violin, that's basically our heads for singing. So we create the sound in here. So it's always good to make sure the muscles around your eyes are nice and relaxed, and around your forehead. And I know this is a big thing now, facial massaging, for getting facials and stuff, so I guess it's good for a few things, but especially around your jaw. Just make sure that you've let go of any tension there, and if you want to stretch out the face as big as you can and expand that jaw downwards, and scrunch up your face really small, I like to do that. Or another little good exercise to do is some chewing, some fake chewing. They're really disgusting, but that's good for getting all your articulators going. So once you've checked in with your posture, you've done given yourself a nice facial massage, checked in with that part, then it's good to move on to a little bit of breathing. So breathing and singing is so important. It's obviously one of those things that you don't go to watch a singer and think, wow, their breathing was so beautiful, but it really is what creates those gorgeous sounds and gives you the strength to those long notes and long phrases. And we have to breathe slightly differently when we're singing. A good way I like to check in with people is, if I asked you to take a big deep breath in, how would you do it? So if you're sitting down now and you go to take a big breath in, what's the automatic way your body goes to do it? So for me, it would always have been, we lift our chest, lift our shoulders, and take a kind of audible gasp inwards. So usually before you jump in the pool or you need to concentrate or something, take a breath like that. But for singing, what we need to do is we need to think of the breath as being much lower and much closer to the ground, and that's quite abstract. So the way to kind of feel that would be if you put your hands around your waist. So if your thumb is around your back and your hands are at your waist here around your tummy, When we breathe in, we want to think of this whole area here, so around your tummy muscles and around your back, this whole area like a balloon. So naturally, when we do that breath in, we're actually narrowing our tummies, but we need them to expand. So think much lower, feel really rooted to the ground, and take that nice big breath in and see if you can get that area to expand. So you should feel your rib cage go outwards and your tummy go outwards, and then if you breathe it all out, you should feel your rib cage work to squeeze it in, and your tummy muscles should be able to support that going out. So if you take a nice big breath in, I like to do it through a really loose ah shape, like that, and take a nice big breath in through an ah, and then breathe out, and breathe in, and breathe out. So that can take a while to figure out because our bodies are so used to breathing in this way. So take your time, play around. There's loads of little tricks to try and figure out how to get your tummy to go. I remember one of my old choir teachers used to say, breathe in, pat, breathe out, poke. So that was a way of him saying, when you breathe in, expand, when you breathe out, contract. So that's the principle of sometimes it's called diaphragmatic breathing, but of just breathing really, really deeply for singing. And it's also really useful these days for calming down or relaxing. Those deep breaths can be so helpful. So it's kind of a handy skill to have. So once you've kind of checked in, you've figured out if you can get that tummy area to expand when you're singing or when you're breathing, then we can have a look at doing something like a big breath in, expanding, and then doing a really slow hiss out, like a so kind of like when you're trying to open a fizzy drink and you need it to not explode everywhere. That's the kind of sound of letting the air come out really slowly. So if you take a nice big breath in, and let's see how long you can hold that hiss out. So a nice big breath in, and lovely. And I like to check in with myself every so often, so I might put you can put a little timer on and see, okay, how long can I hold this hiss for this week, and keep working towards, because as your muscles get used to it, you'll find you'll get stronger and stronger at it as well. And then another one to just really work out those muscles is to take a big breath in and then do a really, really strong hiss out. So a as loud as you can. So big breath in, and that should just go get your air out as quick as you can. So not about keeping it nice and long, it's about expelling the air as quick as you can, and really, really getting those muscles engaged. So we'll do that one more time. Big breath in and out. Very good. And another one I like to do is a little bit of pulse. I call it pulse breathing, but you can call it whatever you like. Is to take a nice big breath in again, and we'll do a so like a ha sound with your mouth, your jaw open. And you should be able to feel your tummy jump a little bit here. It should be kind of the muscles you feel when you're doing push-ups. I don't do many of those, but if you want to check in with those muscles, they're the ones you use when you do push-ups. But a nice big breath in and and then if you do those 3, we'll go to 4. So big breath in and 4. Good. And we'll take another big breath in and we'll try 6. Very good. So that's a little breathing section. Those are really handy to do just to wake up those muscles, because I know for me, I forget to involve them in the process sometimes. So those are a few little breathing exercises to get you ready. So once you've checked in with your breathing and your posture, we can get started on some vocalizing. And a good way to just start off the voice, because we tend to talk in one little section of our voice, and of course when we sing we use the whole range. So just to wake up your voice in its lower and higher parts, I like to do a few sirens. So it's like a hum and make a sirening sound, like a and you'll sound crazy and the neighbours will be thinking what is going on. And so do a few of those. Try use it to get up as high as you can and go as low as you can. So and once you've done a few of those, I like to do a lip trill, so like a and that can be hard to figure out. It took me ages to be able to figure out how I do it. Some people can just do it like that. But a good little cheat I like to use to get into it is to have your fingers here. And don't forget when you're doing those sirens and the lip trills to think about your breathing as well. So that's a good way to just wake up the voice and remind it how high and low it can go. Once you've done that, we can start on some exercises with the piano. So what I think we will start off with first is keeping it on hum. We'll just do a nice so that's just a fifth for those of you who are into music and stuff. It's just a fifth apart, or do and so, and back down. So just to stretch out the voice, we go. And we keep going up. And you can really slide between those notes. Before, actually, in fairness, we start to go into a head voice. So if you feel a big flip between, that's totally cool and normal and great. So what we want to work on is just the connection between those two, so the transition between those two. So when you're going, just try and connect them, but don't be afraid of that flip that happens in the voice. That's totally good and healthy and normal. So after that one, I like to do use the sound, the V sound, because you can incorporate that with our breathing. If you put your hands back on your tummy and have your thumb at your back again, if you make a V, V, V sound, kind of like engine starting up or something, that is a good way of getting the back engaged in the sound. And so we use that sound then on this little exercise. We go needs to be really forward and really we call it twangy, quite I always think this sounds a bit like a didgeridoo. If you've ever heard a didgeridoo, they're crazy cool instruments, but it's also a bit of a workout for our basses, so we make a really big difference between those ooh and those e's. So let's go up, we go too high for you at any stage, feel free to drop out, or you can always go back down the octave. So if we're up here, you can always do it. It's totally free for you to play around with. And I tend to like to go really high just so we can get the voice to go as high as it possibly can, even if we're not singing that high. It's good to just give those vocal cords a good stretch. And so another nice little one we'll do, let's just do a nice ah, really open ah, and we'll do a nice ah, really nice and open and nice and light. Breathing in through the same shape we are singing out. So we're going in, ah. So the shape of the mouth shouldn't change between the breathing and the singing. For low notes now, because I tend to go too high and we need to also warm up the lower part of our voices. So a nice one I like to do for the low notes is an ah, oh. So we switch from an ah to an o, and what I like to do is put my hands here on my chest, and when we get to those last three low notes, really, instead of thinking, sometimes when we go to sing low we think oh, and we tend to put our chin down. But I want you to think really neutral and think of sending the sound down to your chest. So it's oh. So actually, even I can feel myself flipping from having it in my throat to actually really letting it sink it down into my chest. So let's start here. Ah. I'm not a low singer, but fair play if you can get down that low, that's amazing. And actually sometimes when you get as low as you can go, for me anyway, it's nice to do a little vocal fry, I think people call them. But I find it's just really good at relaxing. So singing low is really important, just to relax the vocal cords as well, and never push it, but it's a really good way to just kind of set them back into neutral. I know a lot of the times after a show, I've always been told it's really important to warm down actually, and so those singing back into where you speak more is really helpful and really healthy for the voice. Let's do one more little arpeggio, just to really stretch the voice out over a whole octave. So I like to do a ah on loads of different vowels. So you can do I, a, e, a, o on any of those ones. Let's start with an E. We'll change to ah. Ah. So that's a good little warm up, and we'll now go into our song. So the song we're going to look at is Over the Rainbow, and I thought this was a lovely song because you might have heard it before, and also there's brilliant artists who've done completely different versions of it. So it's one of those songs that if you we learned it a bit today and you're like, I feel like I could do it in a different style. There's loads of different ways to sing it. If you look at Eva Cassidy's done a beautiful version of it. Iz, who does a gorgeous version of it with ukulele. Ariana Grande's sung it. So there's loads of brilliant artists have sung this song. But of course we're going to do the musical version, and kind of mostly that was inspired by Judy Garland. But so we're going to do it in that kind of style, but please feel free to take it away and do it your own, in your own style. I love people experimenting with music like this, especially songs as iconic as this one. So we're going to start actually this bit at the start in the musical of the song. Sometimes is left out of other versions, and I actually love it. So we'll jump straight in, and I'll just bash out the notes of the first. So if you have the sheet music, great. If you can follow along, if you have the lyrics, that's perfect too. I know actually a lot of people who don't read music have an amazing ear, and sometimes learn even quicker than those who read. So feel free to follow along, or feel free to completely learn by ear. So this first little introduction melody goes, when all the world is a hopeless jumble and the raindrops tumble all around. So we'll try it again. When all the world is a hopeless jumble and the raindrops tumble all around. So you can go all the way through that phrase, or you can take a little breath before and then we have heaven opens a magic lane. So we have heaven opens a magic lane. So let's try those two lines together. We have when all the world is a hopeless jumble and the raindrops tumble all around. Heaven opens a magic lane. And then the next line is the same tune, I think exactly the same as the first line. So we've got when all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found. So again, you can take a breath after skyway, or you can take it the whole way through. So when all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found. And then our next line, I love this line actually. And leading from your window pane. So again, this song is actually has such a big range in it. We do a nice big jump. Leading from your window pane. So a nice big octave there. Leading from. And don't forget, if you are learning the tune but you think, you know what, it would suit me much better if it was a bit lower. Or if you're like, I could sing this even higher. There's loads of different backing tracks and different covers of it. So definitely have a Google and have a look around for the key that suits you. I'm doing it in the show key, but you can change it to suit your voice totally. And you can learn the tune in this key and then totally transfer it to whatever way you'd like to sing it. So let's just try those two lines together. And we have when all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow, a highway to be found. Leaning from your window pane. So leading, that was my fault on the page turn. Leading from your window pane. And then we go to a place behind the sun. So to a place behind the sun. And then we have just a step beyond the rain. So I'll sing those two lines together from leading. So we have leading from your let's sing that the whole way through, and then we'll get to the part that you probably already know. So, we've got, when all the world is a hopeless jumble and the raindrops tumble all around, heaven opens a magic lane. When all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found, leading from your window pane to a place behind the sun, just a step beyond the rain. That's our first little section. So the next little bit you probably are all familiar with. So we have somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. I need to say as well, excuse my piano playing. I'm not the best piano player in the world. Really, really sorry. But you can find loads of really good backing tracks for this. But I'll bash it out here so that you can get a sense of the harmonies. We have somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. And then we have, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. So let's just try that together. We've got, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. And then same little tune again. We've got, somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. So that little tune there, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. So let's just go over the chorus section again together. We've got, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Lovely. So we'll go on to the next part. So the next bit we have, someday I'll wish upon a star. So someday I'll wish upon a star. And then we have, and wake up where the clouds are far behind me. So just that line, we go, someday I'll wish upon a star, and wake up where the clouds are far behind me. And then we're kind of same idea again. We've got, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. And then we have, that's where you'll find me. And let me just clarify that. Where you'll find me. So nice and high and sustained. This is a place, this technically probably is the trickiest bit, I think. So I like to take a big breath before, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney. So after drops. Where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. And then after tops, another nice big top up. That's where you'll find me. And we can hit those high notes in a load of different ways. We could go, where you'll find me, and make it really poppy. Or we could do, where you'll find me, and make it more classical. But don't be afraid to just get into your head voice either way. Where you'll find me. If for now it's really light, that's beautiful too. And so after that little section, we go back into the chorus tune. So somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. So same tune again. I'll do that one more time. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. And then we've got birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I? So I think pretty much exactly the same. So you go straight from the "someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me" section straight back into another chorus. So it actually goes back and repeats after that, but I'm going to take you straight to the little end section. And just to remember, when you're singing this, you can move the key, you can totally change the styles. The best thing about this song is that people have sung it in so many different ways. So please don't feel you have to copy me. I'm sure you'll do a way, way better version than me. Perfect, so let's just do the end little section. Perfect, so after we have birds fly over the rainbow, why then, oh why can't I? Now it depends which version you do again. There's a good bit of music here, so I'll skip through that in the musical. There's a nice little interlude. And then we go straight into "If happy little bluebirds fly." So we've got "If happy little bluebirds fly." Then we go "Beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I?" And we finish up there. So let's just go over that line again. We have "If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I?" So there we have written in something called a rit or a ral, which basically means to slow down. So you can take that, especially the end section, at whatever tempo you feel suits the acting best or suits just your version, whatever you like to way you like to present it. But I do like to take it quite slow. So we have "Happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I?" Good. And you can sing that I much better than me. I. So even though it's an I sound, sing it on a really open ah. And again, if your voice is more poppy and you want to hit it in a more funky way, like an I, and you want to make it cooler, I'm not cool enough to do that, but you are. Or if you want to make it even more classical, I, it's totally up to you. Again, really cool to hear the song done in loads of different styles. So what I'll do is we'll go back to the start and we'll sing through the version where we go straight to the end section, but in reality you can go back and repeat again. But yeah, I'm going to sing really lightly and I want you to take the lead. So we have the first note. When all the world is a hopeless jumble and the raindrops tumble all around, heaven opens a magically. When all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found, leading from bubbles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why oh why can't I? Brilliant! So now that we've sung the whole thing through, and feel free as well to go back over any of the lines, and if you want to have another look at them, because this is a very short amount of time to learn a whole new song, so please don't feel like you have to have it mastered. But I just want to go back over some of the areas that I anticipate that are a bit trickier for me, or for generally just the trickier parts of the song. So usually the start of it goes, I like it because it's nice, eases you in nice and easy. When all the world is a hopeless jumble in the tree. It's really kind of, the notes, we're not doing any massive leaps there. But when we get into the leading from your window pane, that jump from the ing to the from, leading from, the main thing there is to really open on the from. Leading from, always on an ah vowel. And so if that's tricky, I like to just sing it on an open ah the whole thing. So we would go ah, and I actually find E is really helpful sometimes. So you could go E, and we all have different vowels we find the easiest to sing on. So if you find yours and just sing the phrase a lot in that vowel, and don't be afraid to connect those two E's. Leading from, as an exercise. Leading from. That's another nice way to help that jump. Because if we think of it as leading from, it's hard. So make sure you connect them. And then that just a step beyond the rain. We spend 4 notes on the F, on the high F, 4 beats, and then 4 beats on the B. And again, it's all about keeping that jaw really open. So the word rain has a lot of different vowel sounds in it. Rain. But we want to sing on the most open. And make sure when you change from the high note to the low note, you don't change the shape of your mouth. So we have rain. You can watch me. Maybe I changed a little bit there, but try to keep it really relaxed and open. And then this famous bit where we've got somewhere is such a great warm-up even as well. I think this song is a really good warm-up song because you can sing it in loads of different keys and practice that leap. But again, it's all about connecting the 2 notes, I feel. So a really nice big breath first of all. Somewhere. And that w sound is really helpful actually because it helps you open up into a nice open ah. So if you think somewhere, I always like to slow down the process to get into those notes and to really find technically how you can do it. So if you, it's almost like dissecting it and putting it apart. So if we think some, we can feel it when we go to the M, we can feel it in our nose. And don't do a scoop like I did just there, that's not good. But it's a good way of feeling it. So then eventually you can go somewhere over the rainbow. Yeah, so that octave, I would spend a good bit of time on that because I personally find that. Maybe you find it easy, but I find that's one of the trickiest bits. And then the next technical part, where we kind of touched on it earlier. That's where you'll find me. Again, just a big breath before that's. What note is that? Oh, that's where you'll find me. And the more open you go on the find, and with the E, try not to think of it like a find me. I would think of it more me, open. Find me. So just a more open E sound. E tends to be really narrow. E. Which can be handy sometimes when you're singing certain types of songs, but in something this style, I would try and keep the E more like shape of an ah, and then just move the tongue back, E to an E. So it doesn't become like a E. If you were maybe down a few tones, then you could do the whole thing in that belty style. So give that a try if you'd like. And then the last bit, why can't I? That was good. That was terrible. I would take this part and just sing it on a vowel sound as well. So, why can't I? I always take a breath before the can't I, but you could try not doing that, and I should try not doing that, but we can sneak it in if you want. But why can't I? So here it's marked diminuendo, which means to get quieter and soft. So I think they like the last note soft, but it's totally up to you again. Feel free to interpret it however you like. But let's just try that on an ah shape. So and that's a really good way of just really keeping it open. And let's try just doing it on the vowel sounds of the actual words itself. So why, oh why can't I? If you see, my I is basically an ah. So it's just about cheating it to be really open. So yeah, those are all the little technical bits. Go, if you feel like it, go back to the sing through and have another little sing through, and feel free to find some different keys or find a new backing track that you'd like to try yourself, or do a version with guitar or ukulele or piano, and I'd love to hear. So if you do a version and you'd like me to hear it, make sure you tag me on Twitter or Instagram, Molly B Lynch, and I hope this has been fun and enjoyable. I'm sorry for my terrible piano playing and my ridiculousness, but I've loved it, and I hope you have too, and hopefully we'll all be singing together in real life again soon. But thank you so much.